My name is Matt Tingling. I'm an influential speaker, a positive enforcer, and an interpersonal counselor. And here to talk about the future of now, my new book and my new tour.
So, Mr. Tingling,
Yes.
how would you make concrete steps? How would you lay out concrete steps for basically sustainable leadership in
Right.
the near future?
Well, that's a very interesting premise. I'd start with leaders, and when I think about leadership, I think of a quote, and I ruminate on this a lot, and it's from a very great man, and he said, and I quote, "If we don't succeed, we run the risk of failure." And I think about the quote, and I think this came from a very great man, Dan Quayle, 49th Vice President of the United States, and he was in a very dire situation, and he needed to collect his thoughts, he needed to collect himself, and he thought of the palpable risks, and he took it. And that is what leadership, and that is what sustainability is. It's knowing there's a risk there. So as we all know, evolution says that we strive to be happy. It's an evolutionary byproduct. We're social animals, humans we are, aren't we? And we're very pathetic creatures, very volatile, and we tend to not really deal well with others sometimes. So a part of the social hierarchy was creating a type of system and a type of bond that was positive, that created sustainability, and that created leadership roles, and it blended us together. Furthermore, what leaders are supposed to do is they're supposed to take responsibility, and they're supposed to take the lead of a situation and turn it towards the positive, greater good. I'm talking about positive vibes, I'm talking about sustainability, I'm talking about influence. And that's why I always say leaders eat last. It's because they're supposed to influence and make a good impact and create a positive enforcement. They create a positive connection with the lower hierarchy. You have what's called upper hierarchy level, and this level is dominated by the matrix, if you will, of leadership qualifications and leaders and presidents and politicians. And then you have the lower hierarchy, you have the people. We would not be here if it weren't for the people. It wouldn't be for the lower people, the tribes, that tribal mentality that really got us to where we are today. And I think technology, it sort of brought us into this situation, especially with millennials, and they feel lost and empty and lonely, and they're trying to fill that void, the little heart-shaped hole, with technology and dopamine, and they're trying to get that. Leaders, I don't think the likes of any millennials will be able to make the hard decisions the leaders made, because they need to start with the basics. They need to take the construct of life, they need to take it apart, they need to pick a part of it, and they need to ask questions. They need to start with why. Why did all the greats, the great philosophers, the great leaders, the presidents, the adept and the worthy, why did the great men do what they did? They started with why. Millennials were dealt a bad hand, and that's understandable. They were the longest ones to suck on their mother's teat. Okay, that's probably one of the influential factors, and they had too much of it. They needed to be weaned off of it. I only sucked on my mother's tit till I was 8 months old, okay? That's when you wean off of it. Millennials, I think, had the breast milk reduction factor by about 33%, 0.5%. And what's natural for humans is, and this is why society and technology is such a big deal, and it's so in the now, it is a human impulse to integrate, right? It's human impulse to integrate and to socialize and to populate and to copulate. I think The Power of Now, co-written, the foreword is written by my good friend and associate psychoanalyst Klaus Tubes. And that's why my book, titled The Future of Now, with a very tremendous foreword written and co-written some sections by my good friend and associate psychoanalyst Klaus Tubes, who has a very tremendous influence on my life. He taught me things I never thought I even knew about the mind and about psychology and about influencing people and about the way the world works. And then he made me see things through a different lens. He made me think, you know, and that's what you need to do. That's why I started with why, and that's why I titled my book Start With Why. And I think it's also important to start with why and also an O and a U. Because it really, the question of existence and the question of changing and making an impact is really with you, millennials. You just need to muster up the work ethic. Just start with why, start with now. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and just buy my book, especially because that's the most important thing. That's why I'm here. I'm plugging my book. Why the hell else would I be here? I'm wasting my time with you stupid drones. Anyway, buy my book. Now on matttingling.org. And you can get a 99-cent pamphlet for free, for the price of free, if you enter your coupon discount code, and it's MattTingling69. And that will show you how to start with the future of the mind, and the future of now, and the future of the will, and the blah 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 blah, and everything else like that. So just do that, please, please.